Hey guys, welcome to another Meditation Amsterdam video. My name is Pablo, and in today's video I'm going to try to break down the difference between intelligence as we commonly think about it and intelligence as seen from the Buddhist perspective. And we're going to try to understand what are the difference between those two. Now, in order to do that, I will use my usual whiteboard, and on this side of things, we're going to start to paint a picture about what we consider to be intelligence. Now, keep in mind that academia, neuroscience, the humanities, the what would you call it, the science or the area of self-improvement have all moved on away from IQ as the measure of intelligence, right? So nobody is, or very few people are tempted to say that IQ and your ability to do calculus in your head or to understand synonyms or things of that kind is the measure of intelligence. Now people are talking about EQ, social intelligence, all manner of things. But on average, if you look at yourself, and if you look at the way the dialogue or the social dialogue is taking place, there is still a very prevalent, we're going to give this a title, intelligence. There is still a very prevalent seat for thinking and ideas to be considered the measure of your intelligence. So you have thought, right? Thought and ideas. Ideas. With thought being kind of the verb and ideas being the the noun, I suppose. And ideas, if you look at them, when they become these packages of ideas, because ideas rarely come as a single nugget, you could think of all these isms. Such as liberalism or feminism or Nazism or any kind of ism that you want to take. Right now, and so the implicit or the unspoken understanding of intelligence on this side of the fence, on the traditional side of the fence, is that you are intelligent to the degree that you hold correct ideas, and you are intelligent to the degree that you are also kind of quick-witted, fast on your feet. But it's really about thinking, right? So either you have very correct nouns or you are very good at the verb, but it's still about thought. So what we don't normally see on this side of things is that, we think this lives in a kind of vacuum, or that we are really good at assessing these. What is happening unknown to us, though, is there is a little gap here. Our ideas, most of our ideas and thoughts are they're kind of a factor of what you could call emotions, right? Well, memory as well. So, memory. Let me change this for a moment. So, we're going to say emotions here. So, this is emotions. And those emotions we'll get to that. And those emotions are fueled by memory, actually. Yeah? Memory. Very good. So, and emotions have an interesting property when it comes to memory. There's a very interesting relationship between these two. See, whatever doesn't give you an emotional spike doesn't even register in memory, as a matter of fact. So as it turns out, the spike, the strength of the emotion, whether it is positive or negative, will result in memory, which in turn keeps underpinning your ideas And the stronger the emotion that underpins the idea, the stronger a certain phenomenon arises. And this word I learned from David Hawkins. And that is a very interesting concept that he called positionality. Positionality. In common terms, we could call this having a bloody opinion. Okay, so you take a stance, you take a position on a topic, and that it is highly related to this ism, of course. Yeah. Now, see the trap on this side is we consider ourselves to be impartial, pure mind that can judge facts for what they are. But what's really happening underneath our radar, and maybe that radar is worth drawing as this little dotted line here, is, so this is subconscious. Yeah. Underneath the radar, there are memories and emotions underpinning our position on topics. And so then positionality gets put in place. Now, if we then go to the Buddhist side of things and try to learn a bit about how that is considered. See, in Buddhism, you have something that would be called viveka. Viveka. Which translated to English, some have termed discernment. Discernment of what? Discernment of actual reality, if there is such a thing, right? So you discern the real from the unreal. And a big part of that has to do with discerning self from not self, and to stop considering things to be things and rather see them as impermanent processes. So with viveka and discernment comes wisdom. And Buddhism would consider this to be true intelligence. Now, viveka grows from and is a kind of factor of your degree of conscious awareness or metacognition, right? Awareness or metacognition, aka knowing that you know. Knowing that you know. Okay? I know that I know. But there's a catch. See, there's a catch in this whole thing, because in the Buddhist path, as you start to apply awareness to everything you do and the rest of it, at some point there is a tendency to demonize positionality and ideas, and to say that you should not hold any opinion or any position about anything. That is a little bit too simplistic for two reasons. One of them is isms and ideas and positions are shorthand or handy conventions with which you can negotiate things, right? So you can go through life with these. So that's one thing. So they do have a value. Secondly, it's a bad idea to drop your isms and your positionality when this has not developed, because a mind that is low on awareness and metacognition still needs to navigate the world and know what's up from down and where you stand on things. If you lack this and you take this away, it's like sweeping the rug from underneath your feet and then you don't know where you stand. That's why sometimes when people get spontaneous enlightenment and things like that, they become schizophrenic. They lose it, at least for a while, right? So you don't want that. So your isms have a value, but they are a kind of superstructure that is there to keep in place a mind that has not yet developed the right degree of conscious awareness with which it can roll. And see, all these things can be in place, and when this grows, your positionality doesn't disappear. It just becomes eroded and flexible, and it becomes more nimble. There is a story about Nisargadatta Maharaj, one of these non-duality gurus, and somebody tells that during a speech he got really pissed off with someone because of a comment they made, and then that same person made another comment that was super funny, and then Maharaj went from pissed off to laughing really hard with the guy in a split second. He flipped immediately. So it's not so much that positionality is bad or that having a strong opinion about something is bad. It's your ability to slip in and out of isms based on what your awareness of reality is telling you, right? So this is a flexible mind, and this is a stuck mind. This is a mind that has stickiness to it. This is what you could call the man of principle. Very dangerous thing, actually, if you think about it. Or rather, if you discern about it. And this would be the man of awareness, or the woman, or the person of awareness, right? Now, they are kind of two ways of using the brain. This is highly linear. It's very narrow. It's constrained by whatever you've captured in the past through memory, muddied up by emotion, and inflexible, difficult to change your mind. This one is round, non-linear, but rather all-encompassing. It is very flexible, and it is flowing with the actual perception of things and correct, clear perception, which is what Viveka is. So if we think about this model, this is one model in which unknown emotions fueled by memory, well, these fuel one another, if you could say, but memory and emotions sort of in the back of your head, unknown to you, prop up certain ideas, and the higher the emotional valence behind those ideas, the more you will stick to your positionality. That's the use you are making of your mind on this side of things. On this side of things, you still have all these things happening, but what you do is you use Viveka and develop wisdom through conscious awareness, so that when an emotion or an idea pop up, you look at them, you look at the emotion, you look at the memory that caused it, and you say, something is happening here. I have emotions, right? I have certain emotions, and they seem to be triggering certain ideas, and I seem to be very fond of these ideas. Well, that's all very interesting, but because I'm seeing them from the metacognition standpoint, I can look at all of them as not me, not I, right? So the situation that created them is impermanent, that's wisdom. And all of these things are not me, they lack self, that is also wisdom, right? And therefore the stickiness of the positionality starts to dampen and dampen and dampen until the point where you can be angry at a person 1 second, and the very next second you can be laughing together with that person. They are not exclusive to one another. From the point of view of the linear mind, that is a flippant, crazy way to roll. From the point of view of a mind that is in constant state of awareness, this is a mind that is surfing reality in real time. So you can laugh at one moment, cry the next, and it's all perfectly fine. There's no problem with that. And of course, for this to erode, for this way of using the mind to erode, conscious awareness and metacognition needs to be exercised on an ongoing basis. Another way to understand this is you could think of this as a kind of binary way of using your mind, and this is more a quantum way of using your mind. Here, many things are coming together at once and creating synchronicities and combinations that thought could not possibly create. You could also think of this is not male and female, by the way, this is masculine and feminine. This is a masculine quality. It is linear and directed and narrow and a kind of on and off clunky type of thing. This is a feminine, receptive use of the mind, in which you are more constantly in touch with what's going on. It's more is receptive. So this one is directive and this one is receptive. Coincidentally enough, women who embody feminine qualities more can often be criticized by men as being too flippant or too variable all the bloody times. Like, you know, it's like what's going on here? You know, she's all over the place. But that might be an indication that the female mind is simply more in touch with reality on an ongoing basis, while the masculine mind is trying to stick to a certain line of, you know, a certain line of thought or emotion. So that's purely speculative, by the way. But there seems to be a more masculine yang quality to the left-hand side and a more yin quality to the right-hand side. So there you have it. Those are the two ways of understanding intelligence. One is thought, ideas, positionality, opinions. I stick to my opinions, I stick to my beliefs, unknowingly fueled by emotions and memory of a certain kind. The other one is developing discernment and wisdom through the exercise, the constant cultivation through meditation of conscious awareness, metacognition, which is used to challenge your own ideas and to dig what emotions are behind them, or to observe your emotions and notice how they trigger ideas and how they get you into positionality, into this closing mode, and using wisdom and awareness to simply observe. And through observation, that closing kind of, you know, gives way, it opens up, and you can be in closer touch to reality, which is what Buddhism would consider to be true intelligence. And it can serve you pretty well. So there you go. Those are the two modes. Something to ponder upon, and maybe once again an invitation to meditate and to get your levels of conscious awareness going up and up and up until you lose your positionality and develop your wisdom. I hope that helps, and I'll be back with more videos soon. Cheerio.